There was a pill
Hungry for that money, I'm coming to devour.
that could give you 5 minutes
Spit it so they get it. I'm embedded with the power.
of pure power.
I'm embedded with the power.
Would you take it?
Well, I play Detective Frank Shaver, NOPD. Well, he's a narcotics detective, and he's looking into this new thing on the street called power, which has just arrived, which is this pill that allows people to have superpowers, which is, I suppose, a really cool and fun thing, and yet, when you look at it from the point of view of a narcotics detective, could be a really scary thing.
The drug is called power. It's on the streets. So that's something that you can actually understand, but the fact that it has this supernatural quality to it, and a great question when you promote, like if you had a chance to have superpowers for 5 minutes, what would your superpowers be?
Power is a drug that heightens, who you are innately inside, and once you get the drug in your system, it elevates that.
It's fun making a relatively big scale action movie with guys who are pretty firmly grounded in a more sort of artful, creative, short film kind of mentality.
What is great is that they can watch each other's back. They've done it before, so they had their own system, and it didn't bother you. It was really like, man, they would talk over things. So by the time they got to me, they already had, whatever decision that they were gonna make, they did it with themselves. So it was never any no bickering or anything like that. And it's great to have that youth. When you see most directors, if you think about most directors, their best films are their first 3 or 4, you know what I'm saying? So being able to be with these guys when they're, still thirsty for it, hungry to make it right, it was dope, and it was a cool contrast, because Real had this light, yeah, let's do that, yeah, come on. And then Henry would go, we can, but. And so that sort of beautiful tandem sort of kept us in the middle of the road. They have my daughter. That is my world. Listen, it ain't too late for you to walk away.
I don't know, man. You're the one in handcuffs, and I'm literally in the driver's seat, so what am I missing?
There exists a phenomenon called super steam heat, where if steam comes out of your pores when you're sweating, was superheated to such an extent it could spontaneously combust. Movie science, yes, but enough for us to latch onto and build mythology, build close-ups, and then ultimately a 5-minute sequence where Machine Gun Kelly and a stuntman are essentially really on fire in a real location for 5 minutes.
One of the first things we said to Ivan was, why does CG fire always look bad? Why does it look fake? And why can I tell the difference between real fire and CG fire when CG is so sophisticated? And he said, it's very simple, it's lighting. And it's almost impossible to replicate the effect that fire has on an environment, the lighting effect. And it's even harder to do that when the source of that lighting is supposed to be a character in the movie.
I think the Machine Gun Kelly scene was probably the one. And at that point, I was running, they wanted me to do this stunt where I just literally got to run through a door. And the guy with the Steadicam is moving backwards. Man, as I'm running, he bumps the door, and as I'm rolling through, the door swings this way, and I catch that thing right there, gack. So it was some real emotions on there. And it took us a minute to really get that whole scene like that, because I think I had to go get checked and everything like that too after that.
Come on, all right, tell him what you told me. No, come on, please, you can't give up.
Hey, go.
You cannot give up.
I look like your daddy or something.
In the action movies, where you see a girl with a type of professional guy who's good with guns and saving, you don't really see African-American girls be the ones saved or the ones helping that whole process. So I think Robin fits in a very unique position because she is a 16-year-old girl who is not only saved by art sometimes, but she saves art and she saves Frank a lot of the movie.
Dominique, man, is a light. She's gonna be a force because she was the backbone of this movie. Everything was sort of resting on her, resting on, you know, how she reacted. Even some of the elements, like being in the rain. We had to do this rain sequence where, you know, she was, I mean, almost getting drowned. But she had a lot on her plate, and she cleared it all. But she's on her way, man, to being a serious force in this business. Don't be surprised if you see that lady on stage, that little girl on stage, saying, "I'd like to thank the Academy."
I think the movie is gonna be way funnier than it is on paper. I think Jamie is a, you know, he's a comedian, so he brings that to art, and Frank is he's very, well, Joe is very fun and warm, but like he brings a edge to Frank that we don't have. So I feel like he's, in some ways, he's gonna be edgier than the art character.
It's gonna be exhilarating. The action is really creative. There's superpowers in it, but they're unlike any kind of superpowers that you've seen before. It's just a really cool sideways take into that genre. It's Jamie Foxx, who's, I think, one of our generation's great entertainers.
This isn't like over the top. It's sort of like, it's personal because it's not wearing capes and things like that you normally would see in a you know, a big, you know, superhero film. It seems like you can actually, you know, you can actually touch this. Like when people watch this, they're gonna be like, man, they're gonna be thinking like, I can hear the conversation, what would you be, you know, for 5 minutes? You know, superpower. I can hear the whole family going over, you know, y'all mess around, be the Incredibles.
You know, there's a 12-foot man and a burning man and invisible man and all this weird stuff. Yeah.
But it's grounded.
But it's grounded.
But it's an ice cold action picture.
Yeah.
With heart. You got Jamie Foxx at the center of this thing. It's like you can't help but be funny and human.
And flame bar. And ready, and action.
Okay. So you come around.
3, 2, 1, go! 1001, 1002, 1003, stand up.